Observance days are a wonderful practice for laypersons inside Buddhism, but what are they and how do you start practicing? So observance days are a way that laypersons can get a taste of monastic life so they can further progress on the Buddhist path. I kind of equate it to maybe a different workout that you do at the gym. Let's say you go to the gym every other day, maybe some cardio, but now you're gonna do some weightlifting. You wanna start building muscle, right? So observance days allows us to build that muscle, if you will, on the Buddhist path. So we're practicing Buddhism all the time, but now we want to engage just a little bit further because as laypersons, we are engaged in worldly life, householder life. We're not able to actually go ahead and be like a monastic and give up everything. But we're also not able to practice all these hundreds of precepts that they have. So as laypersons, we can do a little bit extra on these observance days to progress ourselves on the Buddhist path. So observance days are practiced and done at different times based upon the different traditions, but typically it's on the lunar calendar. So you might do it on maybe the full and new moons or maybe even the half moons. And so these are where you're going to be just practicing at certain times. Now, if you can't do it by the lunar calendar, you can also do it when it's going to be convenient for you. For example, if having weekends off works for you and you can devote one of your weekend days as an observance day. So it's just going to be based upon what works for you. And initially when you're starting out, maybe you just want to do this once a month. And as you build up, just like if you're going to the gym, you can increase it to what maybe a lot of other Buddhists around the world do. But what do you do during an observance day? And so like it sounds, we are observing precepts. We are observing rituals and practices that are going to be more on the Buddhist path. They're going to build us up like we're building muscle, right? So different things that Buddhists do around the world. It could be fasting. It could be following the 8 precepts. So as Buddhists, we're going to follow the 5 precepts. We can add 3 more. This is where we are going to maybe eat before noon, so we're going to kind of be like a monastic in that way. We're going to make sure we're not going to sleep in high places. So some Buddhists will sleep on the floor, for example. We're going to go ahead and also not do things that maybe just like entertainment or vanity related. We're not going to, have makeup on. We're not going to put on fancy clothes. We're not going to dance. We're not going to watch TV or on your smartphone, right? You're going to do things that are devoted to the Buddhist practice. You're going to get rid of these distractions. You're going to follow these additional precepts. Now, again, monastics have hundreds of precepts. We're just taking on 3 more to make them the 8 precepts. So you can take on those as well. Have vegetarian meals. So there's lots of different things that you can do. Now, Buddhists also like to use this time. Maybe it's going to be additional prostrations. It's going to be maybe additional meditation. It might also be sutra study. It could even be as part of this observance day. You're going to go to the temple. Maybe you're going to engage in a ritual, be there for a Dharma talk, or maybe attend a Buddhist class. As you can imagine, there's many things that you can do on observance day, and whatever tradition that you're going to be practicing in will usually give you guidance on what that means in observance day. If you have a community of Buddhist practitioners, Dharma friends, this could also be a great way to actually practice an observance day. You're going to do it with others. If that's not your family, it could be with these Dharma friends, for example. So in Buddhist dominant countries, you're going to see that being practiced along with your family. Maybe it's just individually by yourself right now. Maybe you find some other practitioners. We can also engage in this particular practice. So observance days are a wonderful way to engage on the Buddhist path as if you are going to be a monastic for that day. Obviously, we're laypersons and we can't take on all those precepts, and we're not monks and nuns, but we can take on additional precepts. We can do things that are loving kindness, compassion, generosity. As I mentioned, maybe it's going to be vegetarian meals you're going to do for that day. There's different things that you can do. Of course, whatever practices that you're doing, you want to make sure that you're healthy enough to do that and safe enough to do that. So just don't engage on something, maybe like fasting, without first making sure that you're healthy and capable of doing so. That might be talking to your physician first before you do that. You never have to hurt yourself in Buddhism. That is not part of the Buddhist path. You want to be safe. These are practices and rituals and ceremonies and different things we do, but they're there to help you break down this belief in a permanent, unchanging, independent self, which the Buddha says does not exist. So it does not mean hurting yourself. It does not mean not being safe. So some of these observance day practices, for example, multiple prostrations, it could be chanting, it could be different things that we're doing, fasting. You want to make sure you're doing it in a very safe and responsible manner. And the best way to start doing this is to get engaged with a Buddhist community, a temple, or a group where you can get that proper guidance on when you do it. Do you have any questions on observance days? I'd like to hear from you in the comments below. Thank you.